I think I'm going to start with saying that this was supposed to be the live session, but we weren't able to do it. So this is what we were planning on discussing and hope you guys like it. So I'm Akshita. I'm the founder of Paper Crane Society. We're an organization that focuses on five main pillars. That is awareness about disabilities, there's feminism, environmental awareness, LGBTQ plus rights, and we do a lot of on the ground stuff and also online stuff. We have blogs, we have videos, podcasts, and Instagram posts raising awareness about issues that may not be talked about. And we also have many projects like cleanup drives. We've done a bunch of food donations and food drives. We've donated and raised money for mental health awareness and so on and so forth.
From Femprish. I'm the founder of Femprish. We're a feminist organization who are working towards trying to bridge the gap between females and males, trying to make gender equality something we talk about more often. Right, we're trying to make it normal to just, that's what our discussion is for, right? Trying to make it
Mhm.
normal to talk about feminism that has gotten this certain negative connotation to it, that where people have begun saying that I'm not a feminist because I don't hate men, right? And that is
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
weird. That's absurd, right? That's not what feminism is. It basically is equality. It's just trying to fight for female rights. It does not mean that females have to be on a higher position than men, because that is not feminism. Right? Okay,
Yeah.
so what made you start Paper Crane Society? Or if
So
you want to talk specific to feminism, maybe.
when I was talking about Paper Crane Society, it was more a culmination of different events. I had a few friends who we wanted to do a bunch of initiatives with. Friend who we were donating clothes with to a blind school. I had a friend who we wanted to start conversations about female autonomy, consent, and stuff like that at our own school. So small events like that sort of drove me to start an organization that could do it all essentially. But I think in the respect of feminism in particular, what drove me to start it is a lot of crime cases like against women, gendered crime cases, I would see would fly under the radar. Even if it was a news story, it would run for no longer than a day. So I wanted to bring those to the highlight, and I wanted to bring those to the forefront through the account.
Right. I mean, honestly, that's a really nice reason to start, right? Because I totally agree with you. The kind of, um, you know, the amount people talk about feminism and these kind of cases is
Yeah.
really not enough, right? And working towards having people understand how important this subject is really, really important. Um, okay, so my next question to you is, do you call yourself a feminist? Why or why not?
100% call myself a feminist. So being a feminist, as you obviously agree, just means equality for all genders. It doesn't mean hating men. It doesn't mean bashing men. It doesn't mean like women have to be superior to men at all. It doesn't mean that we're sort of like victimizing ourselves. We're basically bringing these like gender disparities to attention. So I call myself a feminist because I believe that it is important to bring these gender disparities, be it towards men or towards women, to the forefront. And I'm hoping that I'm being a good feminist by doing that through Paper Crane Society.
Right. So, exactly. So, I agree. Proud feminists, honestly, something we really, really have to work towards. Now, again, I'll touch back on the topic of how there are negative connotations, right? That go with the word feminist, right? Like, feminists are those who victimize themselves, or feminists are male bashers, right? What do you have to
Mhm.
say for this?
So I think for this, I'll reference there's this video clip of Malala Yousafzai and Emma Watson. And Malala Yousafzai basically tells Emma Watson that I was afraid to call myself a feminist, but after you gave your speech, I started calling myself a feminist too. And I think that is something that's very important is other feminists also begin talking about this. Feminism as we've multiple times already reiterated, it does not mean male bashing, does not mean victimizing women. It does not mean only talk about female issues. It means talking about this sort of gender disparity as a whole. And that includes also intersectionality within it. How maybe disabled females are more disadvantaged than able-bodied females, or women of certain races are more disadvantaged than women of other races. We've seen that with the wage gap. We've seen that with how healthcare systems treat our bodies. How maybe LGBTQ plus gender identities are not respected quite as much in healthcare systems. How the law system sort of disadvantages men and instantly awards the sort of privilege of being the victim to women. These sort of gender biases is what really I want to touch on when I talk about feminism.
So I think I might not be talking about feminism literally right now, but when you said, that it's not only a female problem, I think that is something everybody really needs to know. Um, there's something called toxic masculinity, right? So
Yes.
the thing that makes, that's it's just this kind of a standard that says men cannot be emotional or men have to earn for the family. That is just absurd, right? That is
Mhm.
weird and that's not correct. And for that reason, and obviously multiple other reasons, even males have to play a very important role in trying to bridge the gap between females and males because a lot of people talk about how men have higher suicidal rates, right? It is the pressure, it is the society that is making them do that. And that is also what feminism is trying to tell everybody, right? That, it's equality. So now, because we're talking about gender inequalities, have you faced any or seen any around you?
This is sort of an everyday task. I'll start with the smallest thing that I've seen is within school itself. If teachers need to pick up chairs, if like, can a bunch of strong boys come and help us out? You've experienced this too, exactly.
I have, yeah.
So there's that. There's also, in general, I think the school system is where I first encountered this, or within our families itself. And it is not even big events that trigger this. It's people need to start seeing that it's these microaggressions where this sort of like gender disparity shows. Asking a girl to maybe change into longer clothes because a male guest is coming home, or sort of having this rigid standard for girls. In my school, personally, girls can't really wear jeans unless they're wearing a shirt that's like covering their butt, which that's so stupid. So it's stuff like that I've noticed a lot.
Yeah. When you talk about that, I just remember this video I was, looking at the other day. It is so sad the way, you were asking about sexual harassment, right? Now, people were talking about that on the streets of Delhi, okay? So it is, it was really, really, this kind of a trigger for me because a male was actually saying, okay, I respect women a lot, but if they wear like, shorts and skirts and revealing clothes, any male is gonna feel like this kind of, thing to go and do something.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even trying to say at this point, right?
Oh
You are
my.
trying to give equal blame to males and females when a female is getting sexually harassed, and that is insane.
A rapist is a rapist. It's regardless of gender, it's regardless of everything else. But the sort of victim blaming mentality changes when it comes to men and women. With women, it's like, oh, were you with someone? Were you wearing smaller clothes? Were you wearing. It's basically victim blaming their appearance and everything like that. And with men, it's blaming them and calling them maybe derogatory terms, or calling them meetha, or calling them chakka, stuff like that, just because they got raped. So sexual assault in itself is not treated like with the gravitas that it should be treated. It's more treated as just, it's your fault, it's not the rapist's fault.
This is obviously a stigma we want to get rid of, right? Is there
Yeah.
any other stigma, you want to get rid of? You want to, you know, let people know that, okay, just stop, okay, stop, right? Any of those kind of
um
pertaining to
If it was up to me, I would say all the stigmas about women, every single one, let's get rid of them, throw them in the trash. But I think the main thing that I want to talk about is often, so I cannot speak about this from a man's point of view or like a boy's point of view, but something that I've seen a lot is body shaming, female on female body shaming, like a woman body shaming another woman. That is one thing that I want to get rid of completely. It happens a lot in families when aunties are like, "Thoda weight gain kar liya na, thoda weight loss kar liya na."
I know.
That is, like, who are you to comment on someone else's appearance? If they can't change it in 5 seconds, just don't comment.
Exactly. And plus, it's just body shaming, shaming the kind of clothes you wear, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to spend so much time. Any girl has to spend so much time just thinking about what to wear, just so that Sharma ji next door doesn't comment on what you're wearing, right? Or you're not the topic, the center of discussion for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're too overdressed, or okay, you're wearing too revealing clothes. Where's your self confidence at? All those small comments, actually they're not small, but all those comments really hurt an individual's or girl's,
Yeah.
just they hurt their mental health, right? They just hurt what the woman thinks about themselves, what they, where they put themselves in an equation with another individual, right? And that is just, that is something we really have to work on as a society now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is one thing people watching should do, right? Should work on, should do to raise awareness about this cause? A simple thing they can do, um, right? It doesn't have to be, going out and talking to like 100 people or something. It can just be
Yeah.
a small thing you do every day,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Like नारे लगाने कोई नहीं बोल रहा है. We can't do that every day. You can't stand in the street and be like, do this. I think the simplest thing I would say is call people out. If, especially within your own like friend circle or your own friend group, if someone is making sexist remarks, be it to whoever, if someone's making gay jokes, if someone is making sexist remarks, if someone is body shaming, then call them out. Don't just stay silent and be like, well, I don't do that. If you're not calling them out, you're being a bystander, you're just as much a part of the problem. You
Exactly.
should be able to call them out and tell them that, hey, look, stop, it's not cool.
Not. That's right. And another thing is, don't do it yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
right? I mean, obviously, for people who think they're not, nobody obviously thinks that they're doing something wrong, right? Or um, they're hurting a woman by passing
Yeah.
a small funny comment, they think. But I think just thinking before you say anything is a really important thing to get rid of this, to spread awareness, to make a change, right? Just thinking before any comment you pass
Yeah.
may, it might even be funny, okay, but it's not, right? To you it's funny, to your friend it's funny, but to the person you're making fun of it's not, right? And somewhere inside it just settles in their subconscious that okay, doing this thing is wrong because this is how I'll be made fun of, and it's just not normal to be doing whatever you're making fun of, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, I think more or less just calling out and not doing it yourself, just
Yeah.
thinking before you say anything, such that is, that might.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think for everybody watching, it's very important to follow these few steps. Just try to be, um, I don't know, I don't know what the word is. Just try not to, be mean, be trying to say all these kind of jokes because, okay, I'm just saying it, it's just casual. It's not really meaning anything. Honestly, it is meaning a lot. And for those who are not doing it, who are, actually keeping in mind what they're saying, good job. Continue doing so. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for being here,
Thank you so
Ankita.
much for having me.
It was amazing talking about all of this. I really enjoyed it. I really think I learned a lot out of this conversation, and I hope everyone else did too.
Yeah, same here. It was awesome talking to you. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to anyone who's watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this.